Obviously disappointed with the result of the weekend. Is this a good chance playing against somebody else in the top six to kind of jump back into contention there?
It's just the next game, to be honest. Whoever we're playing, it's the next game. Tough game. Tough game. It's a challenge for us. They've got real strengths in certain areas, and they're a good team. So it's a challenge for us in terms of the league position. It's kind of really in terms of how we approach the game. It's irrelevant. It's another game for us, and boys have been good this week. Really good this week in training and around the place, and we're in good frame of mind.
Obviously, the nature of how the game went against Sunderland, has that motivated the boys even more?
I wouldn't say even more, because if it's even more, then it means we ain't motivated enough to start with. So I don't think that for 1 second. So listen, ups and downs are part of football. You know, you're going to get results that go for you. You're going to get certain performances that don't go our way, and results don't go our way. That's just how it is. You know, it's going along that road and taking the bumps when they come and smoothing it out when we can. And obviously, when you're winning, everything runs smoothly and everything's a little bit easier. And that's the idea. That's what we have done pretty well over the last few months, and we're trying to get back to that.
Yeah, obviously you had so much momentum going into that game, and you'll be just impressing on the squad the importance of keeping that going.
Yeah, momentum is important, of course. Yeah, confidence, belief, momentum takes you a long way through a season, and that's it. Yeah, the next game now for us is a good game for us to play in, and another good challenge. And of course, we want to get back to winning. And that's what we're trying to do, but it doesn't make it extra important. It's another game for us to keep doing the right things.
And just in terms of transfers, how have you found this window to negotiate? Obviously, it's your first role as a head coach. How's it played out for you? Has it been what you expected?
Yeah, I think you expect the unexpected in January. With it, you never know what's going to pop up, and it's still not done yet. So you never really settled in that regard of what can be thrown upon you. So I understood that. We understand that as a club, and of course we're trying to improve, and we're trying to do what we can. But it's got to be right. You know, it's not just a case of doing loads of business and getting players in just for the sake of we've got players in. It's about getting the right ones in when we need it, in the right position at the right time, in the right balance of character and dynamics of the squad. So. Yeah, pretty patient about it, working hard obviously, but patient, and the squad we've got is a really good squad, so a really good group of players as well. So, if we can do some work, great. If we can't, then we're in a good place.
And in terms of the importance of bringing in those characters, obviously you've been in dressing rooms across your career. How important is that side of it, that getting the right people in as well as them being talented footballers?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, it can flip both ways so quickly that I think you need good characters, you need good personalities, you need players that bring a balance to the group. You can't ever have everyone the same. You need a good mix and a good blend, and everyone has to bring something a little bit different, but they all have to be here for the right reasons and pushing in the right direction, and we certainly got that at the moment.
And I know you said you're working hard. Can we expect a busy end to the window, or is it just going to be see how the irons in the fire go? Yeah,
like I said there, it's hard to predict. It's hard to know what to expect. Yeah, we're working on certain things, no different to probably any other club, and it's all relevant to the club, to the size of the club, to what you can do, what you can't do. But working as hard as, if not harder than most, and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you, Michael.
Cheers.
Just on Dale to start with, obviously the appeal was rejected. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, disappointed. Not much more to say. Obviously, the fact we appealed, and speaking to you after the game, you know my thoughts on it, and how disappointed we were with the original decision. But we appealed it. Unfortunately, it wasn't successful, and you just have to accept that now and move on.
Although it's not ideal, I guess this now, whoever comes in, Paddy or whoever else, it taps into what you've been saying for a few weeks about the importance of the squad. The chance will come. They've got to take it, because against Millwall he did exactly that, didn't he? Yeah,
players get injured, players get suspended, different things are thrown up. That's why the squad is vital to us, and whoever comes in, next in line, if you like, it's an opportunity, great game, and that's why we have a good squad with players that if you're missing one or two, then someone comes in, and for me it doesn't change. You know, it's not that I'm thinking twice about it because I believe in all of them.
In terms of transfers, in an ideal world, how would the next few days play out for you?
There's never an ideal world.
If there was?
There's never an ideal world. Listen, just what I've just said. We're trying to do certain things. It's got to be right. We're quite specific of what we want and how we want to go about it and what we need. But we're not desperate either. I think there's a big difference. We're not desperate. We're not making rash decisions. And it might get later in the window, but that doesn't mean that we rush a decision. Sometimes it might just mean that things have worked out a bit later than in the month. But so it won't be nowhere near a last minute rash decision, because it's pretty dangerous, I think, when you go down that route.
Yeah, on that, will you only bring players in then who've been long-term, not long-term targets, but you know what I mean? Because I can imagine at this stage you've got agents touting about names every hour of every day. You won't panic and bring someone in because of that. It's someone who's kind of long been identified as a target. Yeah,
it's January, like you just said there, about it, you know, things get thrown up that's unexpected or come out of the blue both ways. You know, someone else wants one of your players, or someone else comes available who might suit. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a long-term one. I just mean it has to be the right one, and we know what we're looking for, and it wouldn't be a left field kind of, we'll just take him because he's a good player. It would be pretty specific of what we want. So we're pretty clear in our own heads what we're looking for.
And in that scenario, how do you go about assessing the character of a player when you haven't maybe got weeks and months to build up a...
There's ways to do it. And it's important to us to have that. We need to understand that when we're bringing players into the group.
In terms of outs, do you expect to lose any senior players in the next few days?
Not particularly. No. Again, it comes down to expect. You never know. So I could never sit here and say that there's too long still left, and even though it's a matter of days. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, we'll have to wait and see what comes up.
You talked about Cam after Sunday's game. You were impressed with him. How has he been in general since he came in day to day, and how impressed have you?
Yeah, he's been terrific, Cam. He's trained really, really well. You see how the longer he's here, feeling comfortable, getting sharper. Obviously, getting to know the boys getting to know him, what he likes, what he's good at. Big part of the game, you know, tactics is one thing, but actually understanding when you're on the pitch and little partnerships and units and combinations at a wavelength with each other. I think that takes a little bit of time to kind of working each other out, and you can see that development. And yeah, I've been really pleased with him. He's obviously going to play a lot of football for us in the coming months, and it's the reason he's came, it's the reason we got him here. So yeah, I'm really pleased with him.
And I know on Sunday it was difficult because you were down to 10 men at the time, but do you see him as an out-and-out striker? Is he in front of Chuba playing in that leading striker role?
Like you say, he came on the right on the weekend and done ever so well and give us something, and we looked really dangerous actually, even with 10 men. I thought we did, and there's that little bit of freedom and flexibility in the front line anyway. So you know, no positions are really totally nailed down. I think you've got to play with that little bit of freedom.
Thank you.
Just building on that, Michael. I mean, obviously he came in having not played a lot at Aston Villa in the first half of the season, so it's part of this build up to his first start, almost, you know, kind of building his sharpness and also managing, you know, that kind of, I guess, vulnerability to muscle injuries.
Yeah, there's both. I think it's not just about Cam when he's ready, it's about the team and who's played well and who deserves to keep the place in the team, and getting the balance all the time. And then obviously picking what we feel is the best team come the weekend. So there's it's not just a one or the other. It's there's a lot of different things we take into consideration when you know putting players in and out of the team.
Yeah, and just going back on the outgoing transfers and potential for them. I know when we spoke ahead of the window, you said, you know, that it'd be inevitable that players probably would leave the club. I mean, in terms of that working out, was it a case of sitting down with certain players before the window started and telling them you thought it would be better they moved on, or is it more a case of, you know, you take it on an individual basis as and when offers come in?
I've certainly not sat down with anyone, no, because it's a good squad that we've got. So we're trying to make the squad stronger. It goes back to the expect the unexpected. So I could never sit here and guarantee either on January, whether we keep everyone, whether there's players leaving, whether there's players coming in. You just got to keep wide-eyed and be open and see what it brings. But obviously, what direction we want to go in, how we want the squad to look longer term, and we want to get to that, as quick as we possibly can. But definitely no rash decisions either way.
Yeah, and obviously so far since being at the club, you've never lost 2 on the bounce, which is obviously a record. I presume you want to keep this weekend, but Watford a good team, a big test ahead of you this weekend.
Yeah, it's not about me, about winning or losing for me. It's just about the next game for the team and the club, and it's a good game. As I said before, it's a challenge, a big challenge, because they bring real strengths in certain positions, and we're looking to win the game as we do the next game. Whatever's in front of us, we'll try and win.
Yeah, and how are you looking injury-wise? Anything new on that front?
Nothing new, no.
As you were, yeah. And obviously last weekend, Carrick came back into the side. I guess a late call made there and a boost to have him back, and that not as serious. Yeah,
we weren't sure, to be honest, with that one, whether it was a little bit on the edge of whether it was going to be longer term or not. So it was good to have him back. He's been terrific for us and a big part of what we've done. So it was nice to have him back.
Yeah, and just finally from me then, obviously being back at home this weekend, and it was interesting. You've done your interview with Jimmy recently, talking about the principles and the way you want the team to play it, and it was interesting. Dale spoke to BBC Tees after the last home game with Millwall, and he spoke about the style of play and the confidence that the players have in that, but also noting that there was a slight bit of anxiety around the ground, particularly in that kind of last uncomfortable 20 minutes. I mean, in that respect, would your kind of play, if you like, to the fans be trust the process and get behind us, because this is how we want to go about it?
That's not a plea. It's just how we see football, really, and how we want the team to try and play. And there's times when there's a little bit of tension when in the stadium. There's a bit of nerves. Should be, really. It's the emotion of football. Of course, for us, heavily involved in players on the pitch, that you got to be a little bit colder than that, and you got to be believe in what we're doing. So that's the challenge, when that does get a little bit touchy and a little bit nervy around the place, that you don't get involved in that as players, and we believe in what we're doing. If we play that way and we're getting results, then we're playing well and being successful. Just because you have a little time when maybe it doesn't work for 5 minutes, you can't then go and change the whole thing and play a different way, because then you end up being don't really know what you end up then, because you're not the team you want to be. So I've got no problem with that. I've said it all along. We'll play with what we believe in, and we'll keep playing that way, and we believe that's the right direction to go in.
Yeah, and just on that, obviously a big part, it feels, of the way you play and the way you comes from the goalkeeper at the back. And I don't know if you remember, obviously Zach has come under a bit of scrutiny recently, obviously the last couple of games.
Don't know why, not from me.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is, from your point of view, is he so important to the way you are trying to play it, and is it important you have somebody like Zach who is capable of playing in that way?
Yeah, it's not about individuals. It's about the team, how we want to play. We want to try and play through the pitch. We want to have possession of the ball. Of course we do. And Zach's a big part of that. He starts our attacks off and trying to create space for others. So I've got no problem with Zach, certainly over recent weeks. And it's about making it easier and creating space for each other, and understanding where the space is for us to build through the pitch. So whether we're under pressure or certain people feel that we're under pressure, we don't necessarily see it as we're under pressure. That's just the spaces that we want to attack and want to use.
Last time we were beaten at Burnley, we came back straight away and then went on a really good run. Is that the way you hope that we respond this time?
Yeah, I'm not looking back. I'm just looking at the next game, really. Of course, we never want to experience defeat. We don't want to have that feeling. We don't want to lose points. But it's what's in front of us, And as a group, as players this week, they've been, as I've said, they've been terrific. They've trained well. They're in a good frame of mind going into the game. We'll look to win the game. Of course we will. We'll hopefully we'll win. We might not. That's football. But we're certainly positive in trying to attack the game and trying to win it. And in terms of runs, it's, again, you can get caught up and think, we need to go on a run of this and that. You only get on a run if you win the next game and then the next game after that. So we'll take a step at a time.
And like the last home game against Millwall, we're playing a team that are in and around us, and Watford obviously got a lot of, they've retained a lot of Premier League players, star players. So it is a big challenge, isn't it, to take them on?
They've got good players, yeah. They've got really good individual players, but they work well together, especially across the front line where they can be dangerous. And yeah, they've got a really good quality kind of selection of individuals and good options from their point of view. So, as I've said, yeah, it's a good challenge for us. It's one we look forward to. It's a tough game. It's a good game. So yeah, we'll have to be at our best, near our best to do well in the game.
Hopefully, big crowd again behind the team. That's important, I suppose.
Yeah, the support we've had, I keep saying it every single week, is magnificent. And even last week, the support we had was fantastic. We went over to the supporters of the end game and appreciated the support. Didn't work out for us. I've said it over recent months. It's easy to talk about it when you're winning games and the incredible support, and it works both ways. But actually, it's when you might have a defeat or a performance that doesn't go so well. It's when that bond and that connection has to be strong, and we certainly felt that last week. Frustrated, disappointed, yeah, but we'll stick together, and we'll try and give the supporters something to smile and shout about, and I'm sure they'll give us the support as well.